Married at First Sight, season 17, episode 6386. Where are they now? Y'all, I was in third grade when this season started. This has been the longest dragged out season so far. They called this episode Where Are They Now, but it should have been called Reflections, Regrets, and Rejections. Hi, I'm Tamara, and this is Tamara Lynette Tells. This episode was like a compilation of 36 short films put together by your local community theater that advertises for new cast members on Craigslist. They mixed every combination of cast members that could stand to be together in the same space. Clarapis and Lauren, Michael and his tattoo artist, Chloe and her best friend, Emily and Clarapis, Chloe and Michael on FaceTime, Michael, Lauren, and Clarapis, Becca and her friend, Austin, Orion, and Michael, Cameron, Brennan, and my Aunt Verlene. I mean, this show must have had 97 different scenes, and it felt like all the producers wanted them to talk about was their regrets during the season, what they're still bitter about, and who doesn't get along with who. The same stuff that was covered in the reunion. Child, let's just go over the highlights. Clarapis and Lauren met up for a chat. Clarapis has a new job working with at-risk youth. Girl, hanging out with your castmates is not a job, but whatever. She's also dating someone who lives in Seattle. Now, I'm wondering if a fan leaped into her DMs and now they're dating. Now, meanwhile, Lauren is being very secretive about her love life, all up in Clarapis's Kool-Aid, but doesn't want to spill her own tea. I can't say that I blame her, though, because some of the fans of this show are unhinged. They called up Clarapis's job to try to get her to lose it. Maybe that's why she changed jobs. Plus, Clarapis has gotten death threats. Maybe them keeping their business to themselves is not a bad thing. But it defeats the purpose of a Where Are They Now show, though. I'm just saying. Anyway, like many of you, they call Orion O-Lion. Lauren said she couldn't believe that he thinks of her as an angry person. Now, Clarapis was shaking her head like, no, never. Did you all see yourselves at the reunion? Y'all were mad. Now, that doesn't mean you're an angry person. However, if you don't see that you were looking like you wanted to slap his mama on her forehead, then Orion O-Lion might have a point. Meanwhile, Michael got another tattoo. It was of an angel crying to represent that you never know what someone is going through. Now, while he was getting his tattoo, he was basically doing a confessional cam in the tattoo chair. It wasn't a conversation. It was him telling the guy that he was not seeing anyone, thought the reunion was good for him and Chloe, and he doesn't want her to walk away from the situation feeling a certain type of way. Then we see Chloe talking with her bestie, and this is where her verbal volcano against the pink posse started to erupt. She was letting it be known that there is no love lost between her and the posse. She said she was embarrassed by how they behaved. She was just waiting for Jerry Springer to rise and show up with a microphone. Girl, you better be glad he didn't, because you would have found yourself in a hair-pulling fight with at least one of them. Her friend brought up that someone online was accusing Chloe of stealing people's husbands. Whose husband? I know you weren't talking about this show, because nobody's husband was trying to make it work with their wife in this season. Chloe can't steal what never belonged to you, honey. Now, throughout the episode, Chloe let it be known that she thinks one of the posse members created a burner account to talk crap about her on Facebook. Facebook? If it was posted on Facebook, it was probably somebody's mama, because millennials are not hanging out on Facebook. Okay, I'm playing. There are Married at First Sight groups on Facebook that some of them might be hanging out in. So he asked her about Lauren and Michael possibly dating. She thinks that since Michael was left at the altar and Lauren was mismatched with Orion, that Lauren might have decided to explore her connection with Michael. Then, in a very don't come for my man type of way, she said, but Lauren forgets where Michael's loyalty lies. Now, later, we see Lauren say that she and Chloe are no longer friends because Lauren followed Michael on social media and Chloe became irate. Even after she stopped following him, Chloe still felt betrayed. Now, While I do believe these two got into it, this story just doesn't add up for me because Chloe made it crystal clear that she's friends with all of the husbands. She even invited them to hang out at a farm with her. So if she believes it's okay to hang out with all of the husbands, why would she trip on a simple follow by one of the other wives? Unless Lauren also dipped into Michael's DMs and started talking dirty to him or something. Because Chloe said that Lauren forgets where Michael's loyalty lies. So it sounds like there was some type of flirting or talking about Chloe behind her back, and Michael told Chloe what happened to cause this fight. What do you think? Michael, Orion, and Austin met up. After all of Orion's talk about his hair, the length being important to his culture during the wedding episodes, he cut it all off. And we never heard him explain why. Anyway, his big regret is not moving into the apartments. Him being too much into his head robbed Lauren of an experience. Again, this is reason number 367 why they need to keep these couples separate for most of the season, because her experience was supposed to be an 8-week marriage, period, end of story. Not living in a frat house with the other couples and connive together to try and beat producers at their own game. If simply living with Orion and trying to make the marriage work without interacting with the other couples was the experience, I doubt very highly that Lauren would feel cheated that it ended early. Now, when Clarapis and Emily met up, Emily was still proclaiming her hotness. We're hot and happy. Most people do think I'm cute, but you, talking to the ghost of Brennan past. Now, Emily is still angry about what happened between her and Brennan. Even Clarapis told the confessional cam that they are all in different places in their healing journey, and some of us are still holding on to some anger, insinuating that Emily is one of the some of us. I still think that some oral sex or something happened between she and Brennan because they remind me of a one-night stand gone bad. Now, when Chloe and Michael were chatting on the phone on FaceTime, she invited him and the other guys to hang out at an animal sanctuary or whatever. What I thought was interesting, she was all super bubbly and laughing while chatting with him, right? But as soon as they hung up, she said, he gets on my nerves. What? Where did that come from? Like, was she kidding? Now, a lot of you have said in the comments that you think Chloe is fake. Was that a sign? Because that came from out of nowhere. I'm telling you, this cast is complicated. Now, Michael, Lauren, and Clarapis met up. Apparently, Lauren complimented Michael on one of his earrings a while back, so he bought her the other one and gave it to her. They talked a little bit about how fans want them to get together. Lauren said that while her family was watching the matchmaking special, they were thinking that Michael and Lauren would have been matched. Now, I guess that conversation was super flirty because to the confessional cam, Clarapis said that Lauren is the flirtiest person she knows, and apparently Michael is leading into it too. So maybe she was feeling a little bit like a third wheel or something. Meanwhile, Michael addressed he and Lauren dating to the confessional cam and said, I don't know what would have come of it, but I'll sum it up by saying game recognizes game. Say what? Game recognizes game. Like, how does that saying apply to what would happen if you and Lauren were matched? I'm going to chop this up to bad editing because that answer was unsatisfying. Now, Becca met up with her friend. Now, I noticed that she didn't participate in many of these community theater short stories. Anyway, she basically said that she signed up for a life partner and got a life lesson. Also, she made it clear that next time she wants someone with enough emotional intelligence not to just say they're upset, but be able to express a why. Oh, Austin, I believe you just got called emotionally dumb. Now, all of the husbands met up with Chloe at the animal sanctuary. Brennan said he's been spending time with his girlfriend, and Cameron said he's going to travel to Puerto Rico. So Chloe, Brennan, and Cameron broke off so Chloe could talk about how much better her life is now that she's broken ties with the Pinkaholics. Brennan said they behave like middle schoolers. Cam called them toxic, and Chloe called them the mean girls. They showed a scene at the reunion where Emily and Clarapis were basically hissing at Brennan and Cameron during a commercial break, saying things like, "You're such a liar, liar, liar. Don't even look at me." Now, Kevin was like, "Hey, I would like for us to have a civil and mature conversation, please. Between learning that everyone lied and how hostile the ladies were, they should have just shifted course during the reunion and just filmed each cast member talking to the experts, like they should have done all season anyway. Meanwhile, Austin told Michael and Chloe's friends that online someone described him as Ted Bundy with no sex appeal. I thought I was bad. He also was accused of having erectile dysfunction, being a repressed Christian, and a virgin. Ooh-wee! You have to have some thick skin to go on these shows because folks on social media are no joke. Of course, I'm a sweet angel. They showed a scene where Emily was supposedly having a therapy session with her therapist. I didn't buy for 1 second that he's really her therapist. He's probably the boyfriend of one of the producers or something. I've heard that she had some one-on-one sessions with Dr. Pia. Anyway, she told him that Brennan was like her dad in many ways, and he's very critical. So since the show, she set boundaries with her parents, but it sounded like more than a boundary. She stopped talking to them. Yikes. She also didn't realize that she had low self-esteem until she did this show, and that she needs to give herself credit because she's been through a lot in her life, and her giving 50% is more than most people's 100%. Okay, I see we've gotten over that low self-esteem moment. Later, the Pinkalicious crew went to get matching tattoos, but only Carapace and Emily got one. Lauren said she didn't want to get it because she's afraid it will remind her of the bad times she had on the show. And Becca said she's traveling to Australia soon and doesn't want to risk getting it infected by being in the water and playing around in the dirt or something. So I think they should have framed this as Emily and Carapace wanted to get matching tattoos. So Emily described their tattoo as a dainty wave. And to me, it looked like a silhouette of a bird spreading his wings. Well, wing and a half. Michael, Austin, Chloe, and Austin's roommate met up. Now, apparently, Michael invited everybody, I think, and this is all who showed up. Now, they were giving Austin's roommate a hard time for missing Austin while he was gone. She wrote it off to having 7 siblings and therefore used to having someone to talk about her day when she gets home. She did stir the pink pot by telling Chloe that it sounds like she was the most mature wife, and said that she works at a middle school and likes to leave that behind when she gets home. Subtle dig. Also, during this conversation, Michael was talking about how the men would talk to Chloe during the season, but it wasn't with the intention of her going back to tell the women. But under her breath, Chloe let it be known that the women did the same thing, but hoped that she would tell the guys. Now, who could she be talking about? Because by the time she came on the scene, Lauren and Carapace were already split up. So is she talking about Becca and Emily? Or the Dainty Wave sisters with the bald eagle silhouette matching tattoos? Or did all the women do it at meetups, hoping she'd relay their messages? Who knows? Well, finally, we saw the women at the coffee shop or someplace, and they decided, I'm sure with the help of producers, to donate their dresses to an organization that organizes weddings for people who are terminally ill. Now, I'm not mad at that. That's a beautiful thing. That's a great idea. So they all went around the circle and said a little something about what they hope their dress will bring to the recipient before they put it in a box. Now, the box part was a little much. They were sitting in this cafe, packing up their wedding dresses and taping them inside the boxes like they worked for TikTok Shop or something. So this cast, where are they now? After sitting through 2 hours of this show, I have no idea. This episode was part 3 of the reunion, but who cares? I'm just happy the season that started back in October is finally over. I told you I was 8 years old when this season started, but since then I've grown up, had 3.5 kids by 4 husbands, and now happily divorced. Okay, just kidding. Anyway, I'll still keep these videos coming. I keep threatening to talk about something else, but my busy schedule doesn't afford me much time to watch anything else consistently. I will be updating my other channel soon, though. The one I created to document me and my best friend's journey to opening an event venue. I have a lot to catch you up on. One of the potential places caught on fire. So make sure you subscribe to that channel. I'll put the link in the description of this video and add one of the videos on the end card so you can take a peek. In the meantime, that's all I have for now. Thank you so very much for hanging out with me this season because it was a rough one. Bye for now, and I'll see you in my next video.